What if I told you that Oda just gave us the most insane flashback in One Piece history? A story that reveals not just the strongest battle ever fought, Roger versus Garp in their absolute prime, but also hints at the identity of Luffy's mother, explains the secret of God Haki, and sets the stage for the final war against Emu. Yes, this flashback changes everything. It ties together the will of D, the prophecy of the Dawn, the mystery of Elbaf, and even the ambitions of Rocksteady Xebec. Today we're breaking it all down, the legendary fight, the Amazon Lily connection, the myth behind God Haki, and how this flashback reveals the blueprint for the end of One Piece. Grab a snack because this is going to be epic. Picture the seas 45 years ago. No Yonko, no balance of power, just chaos. The Marines struggled to control an age where pirates ruled with absolute freedom. At the center of this chaos stood Rocksteady Xebec, the most dangerous man alive, commanding a crew that sounds like a fever dream. Whitebeard, Big Mom, Kaido, and Shiki all under one flag. But while Rocks pursued domination, another legend carved his name into history, Gold D. Roger. With unmatched strength and an unbreakable will, Roger roamed the Grand Line in search of truth. And standing against him was a young Marine prodigy destined to become a hero, Monkey D. Garp. Even back then, his fists were feared across the seas. But this era wasn't just about men. The seas were home to the Kuja pirates, led by Empress Gloriosa. Their strength was terrifying, but their beauty was equally dangerous. They didn't conquer with brute force, they conquered hearts. And hidden among them was a young warrior who would unknowingly shape the future, Tritoma. Tritoma wasn't just any Kuja warrior, she was special. Fierce, confident, and with a smile so bright it could melt steel. That smile, the exact same grin we've seen 1,000 times on Monkey D. Luffy. Coincidence? Not a chance. The clues are everywhere. First, the resemblance. Luffy's carefree nature and fearless spirit mirror Tritoma perfectly. Second, the timeline. The flashback happens 45 years ago. Dragon would have been around 10 to 12 at that time. Tritoma appears to be the same age. Fast forward years later, Dragon becomes the revolutionary leader, Tritoma becomes Empress of Amazon Lily. The perfect setup for a secret romance. Third, the connection to Dragon's ideals. The Kuja despise oppression and reject the world government, just like the revolutionaries. They even rescue and protect former slaves, exactly like Dragon's cause. It's poetic symmetry, Dragon falling in love with the ultimate symbol of freedom. Fourth, Kuma. During Sabaody, he sends Luffy to Amazon Lily. Of all places, why there? Kuma knew Dragon personally. He likely knew Luffy's heritage and trusted Amazon Lily to protect him. That's no coincidence, that's destiny. Fifth, the flower symbolism. Tritoma is named after a real plant, bright red, orange, and yellow, colors of fire, dawn, and the sun. The same themes tied to Joy Boy and the will of D. So what happened after Luffy's birth? Tragedy. Amazon Lily forbids men. If the world government discovered that the most wanted man alive fathered a child with the Empress, Luffy would have been executed as an infant. The solution? Dragon leaves Luffy with Garp, the only man strong enough to protect him. Now it makes sense why Luffy's lineage is so extraordinary. He carries not just the blood of the most dangerous man in the world, but the spirit of Amazon Lily, the warrior nation that defies the heavens. Now let's get to the storm, the fight that shook the seas. The Roger pirates arrived near Amazon Lily, but they're not here for treasure. They're here because Roger has his eye on someone. Not the Empress Gloriosa, who's hopelessly in love with him. No, Roger wants Shakuyaku, the Kuja first mate. This sends Gloriosa spiraling, while Shaki remains cool, casually rejecting advances from the future Pirate King. But before this love drama can explode, the Marines arrive, and at the front of their fleet is none other than Vice Admiral Garp. The moment Roger senses him, he grins. He could run, he should run, but where's the fun in that? Garp, Roger says, tightening his grip on the sword. It's been too long. Garp cracks his knuckles. You're under arrest! And then the world stops. The first blow, Garp's meteor fist, descends like a divine hammer, shaking the entire battlefield. Roger counters with a slash so immense it carves the sea itself. But this isn't ordinary Haki. Their weapons scream with power. Their bodies radiate an aura that bends reality. This is God Haki, the willpower of legends elevated to something divine. The clash splits the skies, sends tidal waves crashing for miles, and makes even giants tremble. Every strike is history being written in blood and steel. And here's the crazy part, neither of them was at their peak yet. If they were this powerful 45 years ago, just imagine what they became later. So what is God Haki? Regular conquerors knocks out fodder, advanced conquerors coats weapons, but God Haki? It manifests the essence of your soul. Oda hints at this with Shinto concepts, the four souls of a god: Aramitama, wrathful spirit; Nigimitama, calm, harmonious soul; Misaki Mitama, joyous soul, Kushi Mitama, mysterious, miraculous essence. Roger and Garp weren't just using strength, they were channeling the primal aspects of divinity through their wills. That's why their clash felt like a battle between gods. And if this level exists, what does that say about Imu, about the final war? While these titans fought, Rox D. Xebec plotted the ultimate gamble. He wanted 2 god-tier devil fruits. The first, the Nika fruit, later eaten by Luffy. Rox thought only a giant could awaken its true power, misreading the prophecy. The second, the Yami Yami no Mi, the darkness fruit. Its ability to nullify other powers would allow Rox to break the ultimate law, eating multiple fruits. Sound familiar? It should, because Blackbeard is continuing that legacy today. Rox believed he could force destiny, but fate had other plans, and that failure echoes across history. Elbaf isn't just a land of warriors, it's the last bastion of ancient truth. The Galera shipwrights, the lore of the Void Century, the giant's connection to the ancient weapons, all of it points to one thing. Elbaf is key to the final war. Loki, the Prince of Elbaf, isn't just royalty, he's destiny. When the Soul God fruit appears, Loki won't just wield it, he'll become the engine of Pluton itself. Combine that with Shirahoshi, Poseidon, and Luffy, Nika, and you have the trinity that brings the dawn. When Roger reached Laugh Tale, he laughed because they were too early, but now, the pieces are falling into place.
So what does this flashback mean for the end game?
Everything. God Haki foreshadows the power ceiling for the final war. If Roger and Garp could split the heavens, imagine Luffy vs Blackbeard when they unleashed their ultimate forms. Tritoma's connection explains Luffy's extraordinary will. He's the child of rebellion itself. Rock's obsession with Devil Fruits is now Blackbeard's obsession, setting up their clash. Elbaf and the Giants will decide the fate of the world, bringing ancient weapons back to life. And above all, it reminds us of Roger's words.
We were too early.
Now the world is ready. The drums of liberation are coming, and when they do, the sky will split again. Not for Garp and Roger, but for Luffy and the New Age. So, what do you think? Is Tritoma really Luffy's mother? Did Oda just reveal God Haki? And was Roger vs Garp the greatest fight in One Piece, or just the beginning? This isn't just a flashback, it's a prophecy. A warning that the end of One Piece will be bigger than we ever imagined.